The escape pod shook hard as it entered the planet's atmosphere. Fire licked across the view window while alarms screamed. Ben could barely keep his eyes open. His body hurt, burned from the crash. His last memory before blacking out was the forest rushing up toward him. When he awoke, the sky was dark. Stars twinkled above, but the air was warm and smelled sweet. Ben couldn't move. His leg was twisted and his arm hung limp. He groaned. Every breath hurt. His suit was torn and blackened. He had no idea where he was. Then soft steps came near. Not boots, not human. He tried to lift his head but saw only a soft glow. A tall figure leaned over him. Her skin shimmered like moonlight, smooth and pale blue. Her eyes were large, glowing softly, and filled with something he hadn't seen in. Dazed gentleness. "You are hurt," she said in a calm voice. "Do not speak. Save your strength." Ben wanted to ask who she was, where he was, but his mouth couldn't form words. The alien woman touched his forehead, and warmth spread through him. His pain faded just a little, enough to keep him awake. She gave a soft whistle, and 2 more shapes appeared, lifting him carefully. He didn't resist. He couldn't. The soft hum around him felt safe. They carried him through a glowing forest. The trees pulsed with light. Tiny flying creatures danced between the leaves. Ben's head spun. Was this real? It opened as they stepped in. The room was filled with quiet light and strange plants that moved slowly like they were breathing. They placed him gently on a soft bed made of something like moss. The tall alien woman stood beside him. She leaned closer and whispered, "If you want healing, just close your eyes." Ben stared at her. He didn't know what she meant. Was this some kind of trick? But he was too weak to argue. His eyes closed. He felt her hand on his chest. Then something strange happened. Not pain, but warmth. It moved through his chest, down his arms, and into his legs. His heart beat stronger. He gasped, opening his eyes for a moment. The woman didn't speak. Her hand still rested on him. Then he passed out again. When he woke next, it was daylight. Bright golden light filtered through the roof like sunlight through water. Ben sat up quickly and then stopped, stunned. He could move his leg. His arm no longer hurt. His chest still ached, but far less than before. He looked around. The room was peaceful. No machines, no wires, just nature. The alien woman returned, carrying a bowl of something thick and glowing white. She knelt beside him and offered the bowl. "Need more healing," she said. "Drink slowly." Ben sniffed it. Comforting, like warm milk mixed with something sweet. "What is this?" he asked hoarsely. "A gift from us," she replied. "My name is Solani. I am the temple healer. This milk is part of our care. We use it for pain, wounds, and sickness. For your kind it works too, but only if your body allows it." Ben hesitated but took a sip. Warmth spread from his tongue. To his stomach, the pain in his ribs faded even more. His eyes widened. "What? What's in this stuff?" Solani smiled gently. "You do not need to understand all things to accept help. Let your body rest. Your soul has been in battle." Em looked away. "Yeah, the war." He remembered the explosion that brought down his ship. The enemy was relentless. He was supposed to scout the region, not crash into some alien jungle. Why did you help me? He asked. Send. Seed. Calm. Because you were broken. We fix what we find. You don't even know me. I do not need to. Pain is the same in every life. So is the need to be cared for. Her words hit him deep. Looked down at the glowing bowl. This healing milk. Is it yours? She nodded. Yes, it is a gift our bodies make. Not just physical, but full of memory and calm. It is passed from healer to patient. It must be accepted in trust. Sat quietly for a long moment. He had grown used to pain, to fear, to people hiding behind armor. This place felt like another world. No one here looked at him with suspicion. Scifi didn't flinch from his scars. I want to heal, he said softly. Then you must. Rest. And when the time comes, let me guide you again. Scifi touched his hand. It was cool, but steady. Outside, he heard singing, soft, slow chant that made the air seem to glow. He stood slowly and peeked out the door. A group of Inari, tall and calm like Scifi, stood in a circle. They sang together as one of their own lay in the middle. He looked peaceful. Scifi stepped beside him. He lost someone last moon cycle, she explained. His pain was deep. We are helping him let go. Ben felt something stir inside him. He had lost comrades too, alone in silence. Maybe this place. Maybe he didn't have to be alone here. He turned to Scifi. Will I really get better? Aid smiled. Yes, but not just your body, your heart too. And for the first time in a long while, Ben believed her. Ben stayed in the Inari temple for 3 more days. Each morning, Scifi brought him warm healing milk. Each sip made him feel stronger, not just in his body, but also in his mind. His thoughts felt clearer. His anger and fear began to fade. He learned that the milk wasn't just medicine, it carried peace. The Inari said it flowed with memory, kindness, and care. Ben didn't fully understand, but he felt it. Whenever Scifi placed her hand on his chest or forehead, he felt calm spread through him like light and darkness. On the 4th morning, Ben sat outside the temple, legs crossed, breathing in the soft wind. Birds sang from the glowing trees. Gentle light poured down from twin suns above. It didn't feel like a battlefield anymore. It felt like a dream. Scifi joined him and sat beside him on the moss. She held a small clay bowl in her hands. You are healing well? She said. Ben nodded. Better than I ever did in any human hospital. Because here, we heal more than just the body. Ben looked at her. Her eyes were calm and kind. He still didn't know why she helped him so much. Why me? He asked again. You don't owe me anything. You don't owe anyone to. Be cared for, she replied. Life gives pain without reason. Healing must be given without one too. He didn't argue. She always spoke like that, soft and wise. Like someone who had seen sorrow and chosen to bring comfort, instead of fear. Selan. I looked at the small device attached to his wrist. This tool? It is human, yes? Ben looked down. It was a beacon. His emergency rescue signal. He had almost forgotten it. It sends out a signal to my fleet. Someone might be coming. Scifi's face grew still. If they come, will they see us as enemies? Ben frowned. They don't know you. We're trained to be careful with unknown species. We see aliens near a downed soldier. They might think that we hurt you. Yeah. Scifi didn't speak for a moment. Then she said, You can turn it off. I can't, Ben replied. It auto-sends. I'd have to break it. Would you? He didn't answer. That night, Ben lay awake under the soft glow of the roof vines. His thoughts raced. The Inari were peaceful. Scifi had saved him. If the humans came here with weapons, what would they do? Would they ask questions first, or fire before they landed? He sat up and looked at the beacon. The green light blinked steady. Help was coming. But what would that help look like? The next morning, Ben found Scifi tending to a young Inari child. The child had fallen while playing and scraped her knee. Solani hummed as she touched the wound. A drop of milk flowed from her palm and touched the skin. In seconds, the wound closed. Ben watched in silence. It wasn't just healing, it was love. The way Solani cared was deeper than any doctor he had. "Seen in war zones, Solani," he said. She turned to him, wiping her hands with a leaf. "Yes, if humans come, and they try to harm your people, we will not fight, but they might attack. Then we will take the pain and heal again." Ben shook his head. "You can't just let them hurt you." Solani stepped closer and gently touched his chest. "You speak like a soldier, but you are not just that anymore. What am I then? Someone who has seen kindness. Someone who has been changed." Ben swallowed hard. "I don't want you to get hurt." "Then maybe," she said softly, "you must show them what you have seen, what you have become." Her words stayed with him. Later, Ben walked through the forest. The trees hummed quietly. He found an old broken scanner from his escape pod and smashed it with a rock. Maybe it would confuse the rescue signal. When he returned, Solani waited with a new bowl of milk. "More?" he asked. "Yes," she said. "But this time not just for your body." "What do you mean?" She sat close. "This milk carries memory. If you accept it fully, you will see who we are. And I will see who you are. We will share each other's pain. It will help us understand." Ben hesitated. "Like a link?" "Yes, a bond of light. It will not hurt." He looked at her then, nodded. "Okay, I trust you." Solani placed a drop of milk on her finger and touched his forehead. Instantly, Ben's mind lit up, not with pain, but with images, feelings, songs. He saw Solani's memories, her as a child, her first healing. Her people dancing in the moonlight, crying during war when outsiders burned their trees. He saw her smile through sorrow, choosing peace again and again. And she saw his first battle, his fear, his friends lost in smoke and fire, his lonely nights after war. Wondering what it was all for, both of them gasped. "So," his eyes filled with tears, "you carry so much pain?" Ben nodded. "And you carry so much love." They sat together in silence, hands touching, hearts full of quiet truth. When the sun set, the sky turned gold and pink. Ben stood with Solani on a hill and looked up. A blinking light appeared in the clouds. "They're coming," he whispered. Solani took his hand. "Then we will face them, together." The light in the sky blinked again, brighter this time. Ben didn't need to guess. He had seen that glow many times. It was a human fleet beacon, sent down from orbit. His people had found him. They were here. Solani stood beside him, calm as always, her hand still in his. "They will come soon," Ben said quietly. Solani looked at the sky. "How many? Maybe 2 ships? Maybe 5? Depends how serious they think this is. And do they know what waits here?" Ben shook his head. "They think I'm injured. They don't know you healed me. They don't know anything about your people." Solani nodded. "Then we must show them truth, not fear." Ben felt something tighten in his chest. "But what if they don't listen? What if they see you and think you're a threat?" "Not the mouth." "How through trust?" she said gently. "And through you." The next morning, the sound came, a loud rumble from the sky. The Inari gathered outside the temple, staring upward. Even the trees seemed to hold their breath. A long silver human shuttle descended, engines humming low. It landed in a clear area just beyond the glowing forest. Ben stood at the edge between the trees and the landing spot. He took a deep breath. He had removed all his armor. He wore simple clothes now, given by the Inari. No weapons, no helmet, only his voice. The hatch opened. 5 human soldiers stepped out, armored, alert, rifles ready. Behind them walked a woman with sharp eyes and short hair, Commander Lyra, Ben's old officer, Lieutenant Ben Carter. She called, "You're alive." "Yes, ma'am." She frowned. "You didn't respond to our direct link. Are you injured?" "No, I'm healed." She looked around. "By what?" He stepped forward. "Oh, what? Who?" Yeah, just then Solani walked out from the trees, tall and glowing under the light. Her soft blue skin shimmered, and her calm gaze met Lyra's sharp one. The soldiers raised. Their rifles Stand down, Ben shouted. She's not a threat. Commander Lyra held up her hand, stopping them. Her eyes narrowed. What is that? Her name is Scifi. She's a healer. She saved my life. You mean this? Alien. Touched you? Yes, Ben said firmly. She healed my wounds. With her hands, with her milk. And more than that, she gave me peace. The soldiers looked confused. Some looked uneasy. Lyra stepped forward. We came prepared for danger. Not ... story time. Ben sighed. I know how this looks, but I need you to listen. Peaceful? They don't fight. They don't hurt others. They've never seen war until we dropped it on them. Scifi stepped beside him and bowed her head slightly. We mean no harm. You are guests, not enemies. Commander Lyra looked at her closely. You speak our language? Not by tongue, by connection? You've been in his mind? Lyra asked. And he in mine? Lyra stepped back. A security risk? No, Ben said quickly. It's a gift. She showed me her life, her pain, and I showed her mine. It trained me to see threats. I tell you now, she is not one. The soldiers didn't lower their weapons. They watched closely, tense and unsure. Scifi looked at them. Would you let me show you too? Just one drop. You will see truth. Lyra hesitated. Then she stepped forward. Fine, but no tricks. Scifi raised a glowing finger and gently touched Lyra's forehead. For a moment, the commander froze. Then her eyes changed, softer, wider. She stepped back slowly, breath shaking. I saw it, she whispered. The songs, the forest. The loss. Ben stepped beside her. And, now you know. Lyra turned to the soldiers. Lower your weapons. They obeyed. The tension broke like a wave crashing on sand. Scifi's people stepped from the trees. The Inari walked slowly, singing gently, not words but notes of welcome. The soldiers stood still, watching the tall, peaceful aliens come closer. Scifi spoke quietly to Lyra. We want peace, healing. We have seen war in dreams, and it broke us. We choose to mend, not to fight. Commander Lyra gave a slow nod. I believe you. Ben smiled for the first time since the crash. Later that evening, the soldiers sat in the temple, watching how the Inari moved, how they sang, how they treated small cuts with glowing milk and hands full of calm. Ben walked with Scifi through the trees. You were right, he said. About what? About trust, about healing more than wounds. Like the war inside me is finally ending. Sat near a glowing stream, fireflies drifted in the air. Scifi, he asked, why did you help me? From the start, she looked at him softly. Because I saw pain in your eyes, the kind that doesn't speak. And I knew if I could bring you peace even for a day, then my gift was not wasted. Ben didn't speak, just took her hand and held it quietly. Above them, stars blinked. Two species, once strangers, now sat side by side, not with weapons, but with open hearts. The morning sun rose slowly over the forest, casting golden light across the soft ground. Birds flew through the glowing trees, and gentle songs filled the air. It was peaceful, like always, but something had changed. Ben stood near the temple, watching as more human soldiers set up temporary equipment near the edge of the forest. They weren't building forts or walls. They were setting up scanners and research tents. The mood was calm, but everyone was still careful. Commander Lyra had agreed to stay for a few days to observe the Inari. After seeing Scifi's memories, she had grown quiet. She no longer looked at the aliens with suspicion, but with thought. Scifi moved from one patient to another, giving healing milk to the Inari younglings who had scraped knees or bruises from play. Ben watched her closely. Even after days with her, he still didn't understand how she stayed so calm. She never rushed, never raised her voice. She always moved with peace. Ben walked over. Need help? Scifi smiled. Always. He knelt beside her and helped lift a small Inari child onto a bed of moss. The child had cut his foot on a sharp root. You've learned quickly, Scifi said. Only because I have a good teacher. Selani dipped her finger into a small bowl of milk and touched the child's wound. Within seconds, the skin closed. The child looked surprised and then laughed. Ben laughed too. Back when I was in training, Ben said, we had medics with tools, lasers, machines. They could fix cuts, but they couldn't calm you. Healing is more than fixing skin, Selani replied. It is reminding the body and heart that it is safe. Ben looked at her. Is that why your milk works so well? Yes, it carries peace, memory, strength. It doesn't just fix it, helps one remember how to feel whole. He nodded slowly. I didn't know humans needed that. But maybe we do. As the sun climbed higher, Lyra walked over to them. Her armor was off, and she wore a simple shirt and pants trying to blend in. May I speak with both of you? She asked as Selena gave a nod. Ben stood. They walked to a quiet place near the stream. I've sent a report back to the fleet, Lyra said. I told them the Inari are peaceful. They helped a human soldier without being asked. That there's no threat here. Thank you, Ben, said Lyra, looked at Selani. I also told them about the milk. Selani tilted her head. You wish to take it? Not take, study, learn. Maybe it can help more people. Selani paused. It is not something we give away freely. It must be shared with care, not turned into a tool, Ben added. It only works when it's shared with trust. Like Selani said, it's not a weapon, it's a bond. Lyra nodded. I understand, but the fleet will ask for samples. They'll want answers. They'll bring them. Here, Selani said, let them see, let them feel. Then they will understand. Lyra gave a small smile. You're brave. We are used to being misunderstood, Selani replied. That night, Ben sat with Selani on the temple steps. They watched the stars rise above the trees. Silence sat between them like a warm blanket. You're worried, Selani said. Yeah. About what comes next. You fear your people. Not all of them, just those who think peace is weakness. Selani looked up at the stars. Do you think we're weak? Ben shook his head. No, you're the strongest beings I've ever met. Selani smiled. He continued, you heal others. You choose peace, even when it's hard. Humans. We talk about peace, but we build warships. You live it. Selani looked at him, her eyes glowing in the dark. And yet, you're here. You accepted. Our gift, you changed. Maybe, he said. But what about the others? The ones who didn't drink your milk, who didn't see your memories? Then help them. Show them. You're now the bridge between our worlds. Ben stayed quiet. Thinking about her words, suddenly, a loud tone rang through the camp. A human drone had picked up a strange energy signal from deeper in the forest. What is that? Lyra asked, through her cum. Ben ran toward the soldiers gathering around a screen. It's a power surge, one said. Not natural. Deep underground. Selani approached, concern on her face. Is there anything beneath that area? Lyra asked. Sela closed her eyes for a moment. Yes. A resting place of old knowledge. It has not awakened in many lifetimes. Then why now? Selani looked at Ben. Because you are here. Your arrival, your pain. It may have stirred something. Lyra frowned. Can we go see it? We must, Selani said. But with respect, not with fear. A small group set out Ben, Selani, Lyra, and 2 soldiers. They followed the energy signal through the glowing trees until they reached a large stone structure. Hidden by vines, the doors opened at Selani's touch. Inside, the walls glowed with soft blue light. Strange symbols floated in the air. Ben stepped forward, feeling something strange in his chest, like the same warmth he felt when Selani first healed him. What is this place? He asked. It's a memory chamber, Selani said. Our ancestors left their healing truths here. Not just milk, but deeper ways to bring life. Can humans learn this too? Lyra asked. Sel and I looked at Ben. Some already have. The room filled with a soft humming sound. Blue light wrapped gently around Ben and Selani. He felt it again, that connection. Her memories, her thoughts, her hopes all passed into him like a soft river. and his passed into her. The chamber glowed. Brighter Lyra watched in silence, her heart slowly opening. Outside, the wind carried the hum of the temple toward the stars. The chamber's light faded slowly. Ben blinked, feeling like he had just woken from a dream. Scifi stood beside him, calm and still. Her hand gently rested on his shoulder. The others in the room looked around, unsure what had just happened. "Commander." Lyra stepped forward. "What was that?" "An old message," Scifi said softly. "Our ancestors left it for those who carry both pain and hope. It opens only when a heart is ready." "What kind of message?" Lyra asked. Ben turned to her. "Not words, not orders. It was feeling. Memory. It showed me how their healing began long ago. It wasn't just milk. It was a way of life," Scifi added. "A way that grew from suffering? Our people once fought wars too. But we chose to leave that path." One of the soldiers looked confused. "White, you used to fight?" "Yes," Scifi said. "Long ago, we were not always peaceful, but our wounds taught us to change. The milk came after. It is our answer to what we once were." Ben looked at the glowing walls. They weren't just healers. They were survivors. Lyra looked thoughtful. "Maybe we're not so different after all." On the way back to the temple, Ben walked beside Scifi. The trees swayed gently as if listening. "That message," he said. "It felt like it was speaking to me, because it was," Scifi replied. "You came from battle. You carried the same fire our ancestors once did. But your fire is learning to warm, not burn. Do you think I could learn to heal like you?" Scifi stopped walking. She turned to him with calm eyes. "You already are." Ben didn't know what to say. No one had ever told him that before. They returned to the temple. The soldiers sat quietly with the Inari, watching them work, listening to their songs. The air was no longer tense. It was peaceful, like the forest had welcomed them too. The next day, a message came from orbit. Another human fleet ship was arriving, this time with scientists, diplomats, and medics. They wanted to meet the Inari and study the milk. Lyra looked worried, but Scifi stayed calm. "We will meet them," Scifi said. "But we will not be tested. We will share, not be taken." Ben stepped up. "I'll help. They'll listen to me." When the new ship landed, a group of officers stepped out. They looked surprised to see Ben standing beside Scifi. They were polite but curious. "You were rescued a week ago," one said. "Why are you still here?" "'Cause this place saved me," Ben replied. "Not just my body, my heart." "We heard about the healing milk," a female scientist said. "Can we see how it works?" Scifi nodded, "But not like a machine. You must feel it." She prepared a small bowl and invited one of the medics to sit. The man hesitated, then accepted. Scifi touched his forehead with a single drop. His eyes widened. He said nothing for a moment. Then slowly he smiled. "It's warm," he whispered. Like someone is holding my heart." The others looked at him, surprised. "Surprised, Scifi said. "It is more than medicine. It is memory, Scifi. Peace. You must come with respect." They agreed. For the next 2 days, the Inari taught the visitors about their ways, how they grew healing plants, how they sang to trees, how they used touch and silence to guide recovery. They never forced. They only shared. Ben was the guide. He spoke both languages, now human and Inari, not just with words, but with feeling. He helped them understand each other. One evening, as the sun dipped low, Scifi and Ben walked to the quiet stream again. "You've become part of this place," Scifi said. "I didn't plan to," Ben said with a smile. "But your heart did." They sat beside the water. Stars began to appear. "Scifi," Ben said slowly. "When I first crashed here, I thought I'd die or be captured. But instead, you healed me. You trusted me." "I saw something in you," she said. "Something. Hidden, but kind. And I saw you," he said. "Not just your face. Your memories, your pain, your hope. You changed me." Scifi's voice was soft. "And you gave me hope that your people can change too." They sat in silence. The stream bubbled beside them. When the others leave, Solani asked, "Will you go too?" Ben looked at the sky. "I don't know. Part of me says yes. Duty, service, but another part." "What does the other part say?" He looked into her glowing eyes. "It says stay." Her hand found his. Gentle and calm, then stay. Then squeezed her hand lightly. "If you want healing," he whispered, "just close your eyes." Solani smiled. "You remembered." And for the first time, she closed her eyes and leaned gently against him. The stars above shone brighter than ever. Ben and Solani sat quietly by the stream, their hands still joined. For a moment, there was no war, no orders, no pain, just peace. But the calm did not last forever. The next morning, a message arrived. From the human fleet, it was from the High Command. Their words were cold and clear. They wanted to collect samples of the healing milk, examine it in labs, take Solani to a space station for further study. Commander Lyra stood outside the temple, her face tense as she read the message aloud to Ben. "They believe the milk could be used for medical research," she said. "They want to send a science vessel." Ben stepped back, shaking his head. "No, they don't understand. The milk isn't just a chemical. It's part of them. It's part of her." Solani stood nearby, listening quietly. Lyra lowered her voice. I tried to delay them. But they're sending people down tomorrow, Ben. They won't ask. They'll take." Ben's fists clenched. "They can't do that. You know how command thinks," Lyra said. "They see everything as an asset." Ben looked at Solani. "We can't let this happen." Solani stepped forward. "I will speak to them. If they listen, peace can remain. And if they don't," Ben asked, "then we show them truth." Again that night, the temple was quiet. The Inari gathered, singing a soft song of light. Ben stood with them, holding a small glowing stone in his hand, a gift Solani had given him days ago. It carried her calm, her memory. The stars blinked above, as if watching. Early the next morning, the new human ship arrived. It was larger, louder, and colder than the first. Its surface was smooth silver with sharp lights. Ben saw the difference right away. The ship didn't come in peace. A team stepped out, dressed in white armor and carrying tools. They were followed by a tall officer with sharp eyes. "Lieutenant Carter," he said. "I'm Captain Hendricks. We're here for the healer." "You mean Solani?" Ben asked. "Yes. Her biology may hold secrets to curing many human diseases. We're taking her for study." "You can't," Ben said firmly. "She's not a sample. She's a person. She saved my life." Hendricks didn't blink. "You're emotionally compromised. Step aside." "No," Ben said. The soldier stepped forward. Solani walked past Ben and faced them calmly. "If you wish to take me," she said softly, "you must first understand me." Hendricks raised a hand. "We don't have time for games." "Then close your eyes." "What?" Solani raised her hand and placed one drop of her healing milk on her own forehead. She held out her other hand to Hendricks. "If you want truth," she said, "just close your eyes." Hendricks hesitated. The team watched, unsure. After a long pause, he stepped forward and let her touch him. His body tensed, his eyes closed, and then his face changed. The tension dropped. His breath slowed. After a moment, he opened his eyes. They were no longer cold. He stepped back and whispered, "I saw... everything." Solani looked at him gently. "Now you know." Hendricks turned to his team. "Lower your gear. We're not taking anyone." The others looked surprised. "But sir, you heard me. We're not harming these people." Ben stepped forward. "Thank you." Hendricks looked at him. "I felt your pain too." In hers. "Your connection. It's not something a lab can test. I'll report that this world is off limits for forced collection." Solani bowed her head slightly. "You have chosen peace." The soldiers returned to their ship. No samples were taken. No weapons were fired. Just silence and understanding. That night, the Inari lit soft orbs in the trees. It was a celebration of peace, of safety, of a future that could now grow Commanda. Lyra stood beside Ben. "You did it," she said. "No," Ben replied. "We did it. Solani did it." Solani joined them, holding a glowing bowl of milk. "For healing," she said, offering it to Lyra. Lyra accepted, took a sip, and smiled. For healing, the next morning the science ship left orbit. Ben watched. It go.Selani stood beside him. Your people may return one day, she said, and if they do, we will be ready with open hands. Ben looked at her. I want to stay, not just for a visit. I want to learn, to help. You already are one of us, she said, but I also want to teach others, not with force, but with truth. Selani reached for his hand. Then we will walk both paths, yours and mine. They walked together through the glowing forest. Children laughed nearby. Birds sang. War had left its mark, but so had healing. Ben looked at the trees, the temple, and the sky. He had come here broken now. He was whole, and it all began with a touch, a voice, and a simple offer if you want healing. Just close your eyes.